US military drills with South Korea, which Donald Trump surprisingly cancelled following the North Korea summit in Singapore, are back on the table.
As you know, we took the step to suspend several of the largest exercises as a good faith measure coming out of the Singapore summit. We have no plans at this time to suspend any more exercises.
North Korea has repeatedly said the military games were a provocation targeting the country. Trump's decision, though, caused concern in South Korea. While the president seemed to imply all drills were halted, that may not have been the case.
We will be stopping the war games, which will save us a tremendous amount of money, unless and until we see that the future negotiation is not going along like it should.
We suspended several of the largest exercises, but we did not suspend the rest. So there are ongoing exercises all the time on the peninsula. The reason you've not heard much about them is North Korea could not in any way misinterpret those as somehow breaking faith with the negotiation.
We are joined by the director of the Oxford-based Crisis Research Institute, Mark Almond. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you on. Trump has said he was going to halt all the games, didn't he? But Mattis seemed to imply they have been running all along. What's the situation here exactly? What will this lead to?
Well, I think what it's really about is, as you'll remember, Mike Pompeo, the US Secretary of State, was supposed to go in the last few days to North Korea in order to carry on the negotiations and, if you like, bring something concrete back to Washington, some indication that the North Koreans were actually going to denuclearize, as the Americans say. And that hasn't happened. Trump cancelled his meeting, and I think Trump, in a sense, is reverting to his pressure tactics. If you remember, we might have thought a year ago that we were on the brink of a war with North Korea as it was beginning to test very long-range missiles as well as nuclear warheads. And then we had the dramatic sunshine policy from Washington, where President Trump, as well as the South Korean president, met Kim Jong-un and seemed to be able to personally negotiate some kind of track towards a reconciliation of this problem. And so I think, in a sense, feeling that the North Koreans have not been moving as rapidly in the direction of disarmament as Trump would want, and perhaps Trump exaggerated the degree to which North Korea would disarm without steps by the United States to match it step by step to remove American forces, American nuclear forces.
I mean, Trump's rhetoric after that summit was so positive. He said it's been so successful, so many steps forward. He did say the games would be restarted if the negotiations failed. So is this what we're seeing, a view that negotiations have been futile?
Well, I think what he's sort of saying is, you better show me some steps which I can then say we're moving in the right direction. He's putting pressure on North Korea. He's also, in a sense, putting pressure on South Korea because, of course, the South Korean president is due to meet Kim Jong-un in September. South Korea wants to open a liaison office on the border. It wants, in a way, probably to regenerate new economic contacts. And so the warming of relations between South Korea and North Korea has been, in a sense, a positive aspect of Trump's diplomacy, but now, of course, it begins to raise the question of a split. Possibly Trump will want to go back to a more aggressive posture to pressure North Korea, and the South Korean government may say, we have perceived benefits from a calming of the atmosphere and improvement of the atmosphere. There's also, of course, the issue of countries like Russia and particularly China, who are essential to the US strategy of sanctioning North Korea. Russia and China voted for the UN sanctions, and if China, for instance, feels under pressure from America over its trade policies, then it may not be so helpful to Trump. So the issue is becoming more and more complicated.